What's hard about being 100 years old?
I miss movement. I've got one game leg from I don't know what. And I dance, I still try to dance, but not movement.
100 years, 10 decades. And when Dick Van Dyke said those 5 words, quietly, almost to himself, the room went silent. Because this wasn't just a man turning 100. This was the last man standing from an era that the world will never see again. The dancing, the laughter, the physical comedy that made you believe that joy was a choice, not a circumstance. But here is what nobody asked him. Not the talk shows, not the birthday specials, not the documentaries. Who made you? The answer is not who you think. It is not Carl Reiner, the genius who built an entire television show around Dick Van Dyke's personality and gave him his name in the title. It is not Mary Tyler Moore, the woman he spent 5 iconic years beside, the one he quietly admitted he had a crush on, the one who made Rob and Laura Petrie feel like real people in America's living rooms. The man who made Dick Van Dyke was a man most people today have never heard of. Stan Laurel. Van Dyke used to pick up the phone and call him, just to ask, "What do you think of this?" Stan Laurel, one half of Laurel and Hardy, the greatest comedy duo the world had ever produced, would answer. And Dick Van Dyke, already a rising star, already on Broadway, already becoming someone, would listen. Think about what that means. Here was a young man who could have been arrogant, who had every reason to believe he had already figured it out. And instead, he found the phone number of his hero in a phone book, called him, sat with him, visited him at his apartment, learned from him like a student who knew the classroom was running out of time. He found Buster Keaton's number the same way, looked him up in the phone book, drove to his house in the San Fernando Valley. Keaton, not knowing who was at the door, ended up peeking through windows to get a look at his unexpected visitor first. 2 legends, one just beginning, one near the end, finding each other in the most human way possible. When Stan Laurel died in 1965, Dick Van Dyke stood up and gave his eulogy. When Buster Keaton died the following year, Dick Van Dyke stood up again. He didn't just learn from these men. He buried them and carried them forward. That is what nobody talks about when they talk about Dick Van Dyke's 100 years. They talk about the ottoman, the dancing, Mary Poppins, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the smile that never seemed to leave his face even when. His real secret, the one he finally put into a book at 100, was simply this: no hate. Not a diet, not a supplement, not a morning routine, just no hate. On the eve of his 100th birthday, he told a reporter, "I don't want to retire. It's my hobby. It's my life. I love it." Then he paused. "I'm looking for work right now." He was only half joking. And on the actual night of his birthday, December 13th, 2025, you know what Dick Van Dyke wanted to do? Nothing. His wife Arlene told reporters, "He wants to be in his room watching Jeopardy! Reruns with me." 100 years of Hollywood, of standing ovations and Emmy Awards and dancing on rooftops with animated penguins. And the perfect birthday looked like reruns on TV with the woman he loves. Stan Laurel taught him comedy. Buster Keaton taught him stillness. But somewhere along the way, Dick Van Dyke taught himself the most important lesson of all, that the greatest performance you will ever give is not on any stage. It is the one happening quietly, in the room where nobody is watching. And if you are lucky enough, you get 100 years to get it right. Is there someone in your life, a mentor, a parent, a stranger even, who quietly shaped who you became? Drop their name below, because that is what legacy actually looks like.